On 16th June every year, Malawi joins the rest of Africa in commemorating the Day of the African Child. In 2020, the commemoration comes at a time when Africa is grappling to slow down COVID-19. While children have so far largely been spared from catching COVID-19, the socio-economic impacts are already rendering in an ugly face on them and will continue to impact on them in the long term. In this video, children across Malawi share what they know about COVID-19 and how they've been impacted by the pandemic.
COVID-19 is a disease which starts with coronavirus and
it was found in Wuhan, China.
In Malawi, 4 people have died with COVID-19.
Matenda coronavirus akuza mwanga fikoje kuti sindomapita school.
Nthawi imene ankanena kuti akutsika nthawi imene tinkayembekezera kuti tiwalipa mayeso standard 8 ndi zinandikuza makamaka kuyimitsa kwa sukuluko kuti zinalephereka komanso
vana kusevera yayo mwakasevereranga
komanso covid yakhudza mbali ya zachuma kumbali yona kuti makolo osoona wabwera pakhomo angokhala ndiye kuti kumbali ya chuma kuti atipange support ifeyo ngati ana kukhala ngati kovutirako.
The things that I am doing to prevent COVID-19 are washing hands frequently with soap at least 20 seconds.
Observe social distancing.
By wearing a mask and avoid handshakes.
It is clear that government and other players are doing their level best to spread information and address challenges. However, there are still gaps.
We've all done some great work. That said, there are still gaps, and particularly for children who are often voiceless when in the midst of a crisis. I think first, education. Kids are missing out on an education, and I realize that this is a massive hill to climb, that it's not easy to think about how you make sure children can continue to learn even when schools are closed. But it is those big hills that have the best views from the top. So we've got to keep climbing. We've got to keep coming up with better ways to reach children in the home, to help make sure parents can engage in learning. If we can do this, this will help not only children have a better education now, it will help them forever if we have stronger systems to support learning in the home and to better link our education systems to communities and to parents. So I think that's the first thing we've got to keep working on. I think the second thing that's the biggest gap is really looking at our adolescent girls. We've got to think about how we're protecting them. When we talk to communities, we know that we're already seeing a rise in teenage pregnancy. We're seeing a rise in early marriages. And that means these girls are missing out on their childhood forever. And there's more that we can do.
District social welfare officers across the country are increasingly receiving cases of violation of children's rights as children are spending more time in homes. District social welfare officer Funchewu shares more in this video.
Kuno kwa angoni amene pambali pa zimene amakonda kwambiri ngati angoni amakondanso zakumwa zimene nthawi zina zima pang'ono zimazunguza mutu. Ndi pachifukwa chimenecho zikumatha kuchitika kuti mabanja ambiri chifukwa cha zolawalawa zimene timalawa kuno, komanso nthawi zina mwina timalawa anawo ali patali ali ku sukulu wapano ali pakhomo, ndiye zimatha kutheka kuti mwina mbanja amatha anthu kumatha kumayambana kumene kupangisa kuti ananso aone kuti malomoti ana kwene kuti akhale pakhomo, ana kuona kuti panopa bambo ndi mayi akumamenyana akuyambana. Zinthu zimene zipangisa ana ajanso kuti asakhale pakhomo azipita koyenda. Zimene zikupangisanso koyenda kuja sopano ana kuyamba kulowerera.
If meaningfully engaged, children can be active agents in the fight against COVID-19. In this video, children attest to this belief as they offer solutions to the challenges that they are facing.
The government should ban all children from going to political rallies as here in Malawi, we are going through the elections, so government should ban all children from going through political rallies.
Ndikuona ngati boma litakhala pansi kuti lipeze njira zoti zokomera mwana wina aliyense kuti apange access maphunziro amene ali ku nyumba, komanso ngati kukotheka apange kozotheka kuti ana atibwerere ku sukulu kuti mwinako maphunziro asalowe pansi.
Ine nkumbisisa kuti boma litolepo Rwanda pakusanga ndi wainyake yokusambirira chifukwa kusambira kuzera pa mawairesi vananyake makaya valije wairesi lasomba kusuka chomero kuti vamanye ivo vakusambira nyawo. Akanatipangira kuti masukuluwa atsegule.
Irish ambassador to Malawi believes that the Day of the African Child is an opportunity for Africa to seriously reflect and address impacts of COVID-19 on children.
I think it's really important to have this International Day and to use it wisely to reflect on what it means for children, what it means for the future in the midst of COVID-19. While COVID is a very real threat, fortunately children seem to be one of the groups that are least affected in terms of a health impact. But we've seen a real impact on children's education, and particularly for girls, this is going to have a long-term impact. There's real risks that girls may drop out of school. For all children, I think there are issues around food security for those who have relied very heavily on school feeding programs. So I think there is that challenge to deal with. There are also, I think, some opportunities we need to look at as the government is preparing now Vision 2063. What will education look like in 10 or 20 years' time? Will it continue to be based on classroom delivery, or are there opportunities, as we see, to invest more in online delivery of services? It should be possible to provide children, at least at secondary level, with tablets, the ability to do some online distance learning, with one of the other key priorities for us has been providing solar lanterns, providing some small-scale rechargeable solar at houses so people can top up electricity to provide children with the ability to do continuous learning, particularly in an environment where school-based learning has been disrupted.
The theme for the commemoration of the Day of the African Child in 2020 is access to a child-friendly justice system in Africa. With child rights violation on the increase amid COVID-19, the theme calls for serious introspection and commitment towards addressing the numerous challenges that children are facing to access justice. Children and experts share their experiences and reflections.
If I would experience those violations, I would go and report to the place which is nearby our homes. Other children don't know where to report in different villages here in Malawi. So we are asking the government to establish different clubs in different villages so that children who experience those violations can go to report to those clubs.
I don't think that all children have access to justice. Some of them don't have access to justice, such as street children and the orphans. I think government should provide more schools at the community, and they should also provide more teachers so that they can be able to teach children and educate them about the human rights.
The district is also experiencing a lot of child marriage cases because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Children, especially girl children, are resorting to getting into marriage because they are just idle at home, and some men are even cheating them that schools will not be opened. The issue is at an alarming rate because per week we are handling issues, about 4 to 5 issues of child marriages. Some children are even choosing to go into marriage without the knowledge of their parents.
Child-friendly systems of access to justice will include systems that will protect the child from being re-victimized. That means the identity should not be known, so that they don't get re-victimized as they're growing up as well, so that they develop well as well. Yeah. And also that they should be able to speak on behalf of themselves or for themselves, rather than someone making assumptions about what they are going through or what remedies they would want. In Malawi right now, the child-friendly system that has been placed is the Child Justice Court. So that assists the children to at least access justice, taking into account their interests at heart.
So I think the most important thing that we're missing right now in access to justice is children's voice. We know that these systems are scary and often inaccessible, particularly for the most vulnerable of children who might be interacting with these systems. So I think we need to make sure that we're listening to kids. We're asking them, what is their experience like with judicial processes, with the legal systems, with the workers that are supposed to be there to make them feel safe and protected. And when we start listening to them, we need to really take on board some of what they're telling us. They will have ideas and opinions on how we can strengthen the judicial process and systems and make them more child-friendly. So I'd say that's the number one gap. If we can really make sure that our justice systems are child-friendly, that they're accessible, it'll be the best deterrent for child abuse and exploitation in the future.
In Malawi, most remote areas do not have courts. If they do have courts, like the physical building, then they're probably lacking in manpower. So most people have to actually come from rural areas, come into town, because at least in the major cities and some districts, you will find the child justice courts.
So moving forward, what should Malawi do to strengthen access to a child-friendly justice system?
I think what can be done is more awareness. Most of the times people assume that we've already done a lot of awareness, but as a Human Rights Commission, when we go on the ground, especially in remote areas, what we find is that people say, ever since I've been in this village, and these are like older or elderly people, they will mention that we've never had an organization come to this particular village and sensitize us on human rights. Apart from the sensitization, I would say that it would be nice if we had more laws that would be translated into vernacular languages, simplified, so that people on the ground, are aware about their rights. So there should be child-friendly material relating to the laws, so that they are also aware of their rights.